Hey, what is up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com, and I am going to be talking about today the top 5, that's right, top 5 online programming certifications. So this is a tough one. I was trying to research this and try to figure this out because a lot of you have been asking me, what are the best places to get online certifications? Does it make sense? I've done some videos on whether or not you should get certifications and whether certifications are valuable. But the kind of certifications I'm going to be talking about here are more, it's different. It's changed a little bit as education has sort of been democratized, right? As we're sort of seeing more online education, we're seeing the traditional universities and college structures sort of crumble. I predict in the next 10 years they'll completely crumble. And so getting these online certifications has become more important because these are more like little degree programs. In fact, as I talk about some of these, you'll see that they are actually smaller degree programs. So this can be really important. This can be good for a couple of reasons. One, getting an online certification or degree is going to give you the knowledge that you need to actually succeed as a software developer. There's a lot of information, a lot of good knowledge out there to become a software developer. It's not really hard today, right? It used to be difficult, but now there's so many resources, so much information out there on how to become a programmer and learn programming that the biggest question is what to do, right? It can be overwhelming. But having some kind of a structured program can help you. Again, this is one of the things I believe strongly in being a self-taught programmer. In fact, I talked a lot about boot camps, right? I think I've done some videos on boot camps. You can check that. And that's sort of where I'm recommending now is because it has that structure. Because the thing is, like what I used to say before we had the boot camps, before we had all these online programs, was that you basically, you could be self-taught, right? You don't need to spend all this money. You just figure out what you need to learn and you learn it. Or you could go to college, and college was more for the person that needed the structure, that they couldn't set their own structure. But now that we've got sort of these online certifications that are sort of mini degrees, and we have these online boot camps and things like that, and boot camps, it sort of combines the best of both worlds because it's very on the ground focused. It still requires you to really do the bulk of the work of teaching yourself essentially, but it gives you a structure so that you can know that you're learning the right things and you've got a progression, which a lot of people struggle with that. I mean, again, one of the reasons why I talk about why it's so hard to be successful as an entrepreneur, especially, is because you don't have a structure. You have to lay out your own structure. I mean, that's one of the things I struggle with every day as an entrepreneur is I got to decide what I got to do. I can't be looking over there and be like, oh, squirrel, So this is important. So let's get into it. So what are the top 5 best online programming certifications, at least in my opinion, what I found here? And by the way, if you disagree with me, if you've got more info, leave it below, leave a comment. Let's make this useful for people, right? This is what my point is for doing this video. So the first one I have here is Udacity, okay? I used to call this Udacity. Udacity, you can check them out here, okay? Udacity. So they offer nano degree programs. They came up with this idea. And so what is it? What is Udacity? What is a nano degree program? So essentially it's a smaller sort of segmented piece of degree. You can think of it as technical training, a certification, but they've kind of given you the stamp on it that says that, okay, this is official, this, you've gone through these requirements. And what they've done is they've broken this up into smaller pieces. So I'm going to look up here. So for example, they have a lot of different little, micro degree programs. They have like this deep learning foundation. So they started creating these foundations ones where you can build off of that. Artificial intelligence, VR developer, that one sounded cool. I wanted to do that myself. Android basics, predictive analytics for business, self-driving car engineer. So there's a lot of really kind of cool stuff here. Now, these programs, right? What it is they're very specific. They're more focused, as you can see here. And what they have is they have some sponsors from different companies. So like Google has an Android basics, front-end web developers sponsored by like AT&T, Google, and GitHub and whatnot. Now these are not free. They do have some free courses, I do believe, right? But most of their courses cost some money, right? So let's say you wanted to become an iOS developer, right? They got an iOS developer course. They have a timeline for 6 months. Okay, now this is kind of a bigger one, and you can start the nano degree. They have this nano degree plus, which includes a job guarantee or 100% refund. Now that's a pretty damn good guarantee, right? So if we wanted to just say, Okay, let's just say start a nano degree. What would we be looking at here? If it comes up, we'll see. Okay, it doesn't have I'm not seeing the pricing there, but I believe these were around like $500-600 for some of these programs. It depends on what the program is and how long it is. I mean, that one's obviously like a pretty long program. There's just a ton of stuff here, you know, and their website is very well designed for you to navigate. If you click the explore button when you go to their website, you can sort of see, you know, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to build websites. Okay. And then what's your level of experience? I'm a beginner. Okay. So then, you know, it's got this course here, and it tells you what the base salary is. It uses like Payza to figure that out for programmers and for whatever it is. I'm not so sure how great that is, but like, you know, but they've got a bunch of free courses there to kind of get you started. Basically what they want to do is they want to get you started on their free courses, and then you go into the paid ones. But again, when they have that guarantee, 100% guarantee on a job, that's to me, that seems like a no-brainer. It seems pretty valuable. Now, I've heard a lot of good stuff about their courses. These are good comprehensive courses. If you look at these courses, if you look at the syllabuses and you look at what they're teaching, this is good stuff, okay? And a lot of times, like I said, they're getting their content from companies like Google, from Microsoft, or I don't know if they have Microsoft in there, but like AT&T, GitHub, and stuff. So they're, you know, it's sort of this sort of mutual thing where that company's getting some branding, and they're getting to use the branding from that company. Like, you know, if I was going to learn VR, I'd probably go here and, you know, click the VR developer and sign up for this. And, you know, it has a 6-month timeline, so it's a serious commitment. It's not like this tiny small thing, but it's going to get you that specialized knowledge. And it has, you know, a capstone project at the end. So, you know, you're really signing up for a program that's totally online. But I like it. I think it's good. It makes a lot of sense to me, and they're constantly expanding. I'm excited to see what Udacity does, and it's amazing that they have so many different specialties in there that you can select. So the next one is Coursera. Now, Coursera is a little bit different because Coursera is more, and we'll put the link here, Coursera is more sort of designed for university programs that already exist and putting them online. So you'll find a lot of more higher level kind of professional, higher degree program classes on there that have actually been brought online. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. There's a lot more, I think a lot more free courses on Coursera, but there are some paid ones as well, but it's probably worth paying for these things. These are longer, these are more interactive type of classroom type of online settings on most of these, where you're going to enroll and then you're going to be working with other people in more of a classroom setting, but still online. You get the programs that you get. Again, these are more like technical certification type of degrees, just like the Udacity ones. And let me see here, bring up what they have here. So Coursera, right? So they've got a bunch of different courses here, and you can see it's a lot. It's combinations of videos, of reading, of lectures. So this feels more like the traditional college environment, but online, right? And like I said, more of these are going to be courses that are created by college professors. So if you prefer more of the college experience, and you know that might be something to consider. And it's broken down. These are fairly long programs, but at the end, now the way Coursera used to work is that they would give you, the course would be totally free. Now some of them still are, I think most of them are, and then to get the certified degree, like the certification, then you would pay some amount, that like the verified certificate. I think it was like $49. It might be a little bit more expensive now. It might depend on what course you take, but these courses, you know, have the cloud of, you know, for example, the Learn Python one is from the University of Michigan. So you've got that higher education, you know, program backup behind it. So I don't know, you know, between Udacity and Coursera, is an employer going to say, you kind of have to ask the question, is an employer going to say, well, you took a course that was sort of created by Google, is that more valuable, or is it more valuable to have a course that was created by MIT or University of Michigan? I don't know. You know, it sort of depends on, but I think these are valuable. Again, really good material here. I wouldn't recommend these if I didn't think it was good stuff. And I've looked through a lot of these courses, and they are really good. Next, we have Block.io. So this one is a little bit different, right? So this one is more of, you pay a tuition. This is more of like a boot camp. Okay, so I think the tuition right now, at least recording this video, is $19,500. They've got some financing and stuff, and they've got these different programs. So they've got like 108 week pace, a 54-week pace, and a 36-week pace. And it's how many hours a week. So you could do 15 hours a week, 20 hours a week, or 40 hours a week. If you do 40 hours a week in 36 weeks, you can basically go through this whole program and you can essentially become a software developer. And this is not like bullshit, right? This is good stuff. Like, I looked at their program, and this is, again, so if we were to look at Udacity and Coursera, those are more like, okay, I kind of know what I want to learn. I want to focus on the specific thing. Whereas this, they have career tracks, right? So they have like a software developer career track, and it's taking you through all the stuff that you need to know in order to become a software developer. So this is more structured in terms of an overall educational experience. This is going to be more like getting a degree, whereas the Coursera and the Udacity are going to be more like specializing in a specific thing. So you gotta kind of want to think about, what do you want to do, right? Do you want the full kind of package knowledge and go through one of these programs? And or do you want to focus? Like, do you know you want to be a VR developer? If you want to be a VR developer and you know it, you probably want to go through, find the courses on Coursera or Udacity and get those certifications, as opposed to just a software developer career track on something like this Block.io. So really good stuff. I've heard a lot of good things from people that have graduated from Block.io, so I would recommend it. And again, I've looked through their curriculum and their programs. I've looked through it on all of these, and this is good stuff. It really is quality. You know, one of the things that I always recommend too is, like, this is one of those things where you don't want to like skimp, okay? So Block.io, I know some of you think, oh, $19,500, that's a lot of money. That ain't shit, okay? If you get a job as a software developer making six figures, right? That's not shit compared to that, right? Now, I don't want you to go into debt and all this stuff. I've talked about this a lot, but at the same time, like, this is a serious, good investment that makes a lot of sense, okay, that you can do as long as you're gonna do the program. So it's really going to be cost effective for you to do something like this. I recommend it. It makes a lot of sense to me. That if I were starting out today, I'd be doing something like this. I'd probably be doing something like the Block.io, and then probably taking some courses on Coursera or Udacity for the things I wanted to specialize in and know better. But I'd want to take something like Block.io to get my full kind of, make sure that I've covered all my bases here. Okay, the last one actually there's two more. So next I'm going to talk about, so I'm going to just use an example, but I'm going to use UC Berkeley Extension, okay, and this is just an example for traditional school programs. So a lot of colleges are now bringing stuff online, and they're bringing these sort of mini degrees online. So the UC Berkeley one, for example, they have a certificate program, right? And the estimated cost, okay, of getting one of these certificates is like $3,600 in this case. And so this is a real certificate from UC Berkeley, and this is a certificate in program in software development and programming. So this makes a lot of sense if you kind of want that. It's not an associate degree, it's not a bachelorette, right? They don't want to bite into their own sort of market. Eventually they'll have to, because this is the way that things are going to go. I guarantee you, education is going this direction. There's no way you're going to sustain that old model. It just doesn't make sense. It's kind of dumb here. But if you want to get something from UC Berkeley, right, or one of these colleges, you can check most colleges now and see, do they have an online program? And it's going to be a lot cheaper, right? And they're going to have some kind of a certificate program. Now, the value of the certificate program is probably going to be better, honestly, than the traditional degree, because it's going to be focused on programming, right? You're not going to have all these extra things. It's really important to specialize, especially today, and to have the up-to-date knowledge. So these are kind of good, especially when you consider the cost. I mean, this is pretty damn cheap, $3,600 to get the certificate in software development and programming. And again, I looked at their curriculum. It's good stuff. It's actually up-to-date stuff. Imagine that for college. So colleges are having to kick it into gear. They're having to come online. They're having to figure this out, and they're starting to put out these programs. You got to look for them. They're not going to advertise those as much. When you go into the school, they're not going to say, oh, you could learn online for a quarter of the price. No, they're not going to tell you that. But you got to look and see. And again, you're not getting an associate's degree. You're not getting a bachelor's degree in this case, but you're getting the same education, maybe better for a software developer, right? In a more compressed format online. So definitely check those out. I just used UC Berkeley as an example because I found that one, but there's a lot of them out there. Now, the last one, the fifth one I'm going to put here, is a company called Thinkful. Now, I know there's a lot of other ones, but these were the 5 that I sort of narrowed it down because they have different styles, right, of how they do this. Now, Thinkful is really interesting. Thinkful is, again, another online coding bootcamp, okay? And the way that Thinkful works is that they've got a flexible sort of like $9,000 for 6 months, or a full-time, which is $14,000 for 4 months, and it's a program that you're going to graduate in, either 6 or 4 months, and you're going to study 20 or 40 hours a week, right? But what's really cool about this is why I like Thinkful, is because you have a mentor. Okay, in fact, I know one of the mentors on Thinkful. He's really awesome mentor. I'll actually mention him. It's Jason Humphrey, and he does an awesome job, right? He's got his own students, and I've heard from him specifically on how this works. And what's cool about this program, again, is this idea that you're going through this entire program, right? They have this, it's a boot camp, web development boot camp, for example, but you've got a mentor, right? And so like on the flexible schedule, they've got 3 mentor sessions per week, and for the full time, like a daily meet with your mentor, which is pretty damn cool. If you think about this, if you get stuck, if you need help, right, this makes a lot of sense. Now, for me, I tend to be someone that can figure out stuff on my own, and I'll go research, and a mentor is not really, I've never really had mentors, learning stuff and growing up, but a lot of people really thrive well in that space. And if you're one of those people that it's like, man, if I have a question, could I ask someone? Having a mentor can be extremely valuable. So that could be worth the money alone. Again, some of these prices might seem high to you, but for me, like if I can get through a boot camp, $14,000, 4 months, and I have a mentor that's going to meet with me daily to help me learn whatever I need to learn, that's pretty damn awesome. I mean, to me, that's well worth it, because you're much more likely to get a job. And a lot of these programs too, they have some kind of guarantees and stuff on the jobs, or refund. I didn't give all the details on that. You can check them out on the sites, but it's becoming more and more. I mean, these programs are becoming good, right? And I've given you 5 of ones that I recommend, that I have checked out the curriculum, that I've looked at it, that I've gotten, I get a lot of emails from people that say, I did this boot camp, or I did this Udacity program, or I did this Coursera, or I did Block.io. And so that's sort of my filter. There's a lot of bad stuff out there as well. So that's one of the things. I think I was going to go on this tangent, but I didn't. But I'll wrap this up, and I'll say this one last thing, which is, make sure you don't cheap out on this shit, okay? This is not something to cheap out on, okay? If don't bargain hunt a boot camp, okay? If a boot camp that is really good is $19,500, like the Block.io, and you could find one for $8,000, that's a bargain. It's less than half the price. Pay the extra money, okay, and get the one that's good, because this is your education. This is the difference between getting a job and not getting a job, right? You don't want to waste $8,000 trying to save. There's certain things where you can save money on and it makes sense, but I would pick a boot camp based on what is the most quality thing, and what are the graduation rates, the acceptance rates, how many of the graduates get jobs, essentially, right, afterwards. That's the things that I would look at, that kind of criteria. All right, if you like this video, I've got a request for you. first of all, click that subscribe button below if you haven't already. If you want to get every video I do, as soon as I get it, click the bell, then you're a super ass subscriber. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, if you're like, man, that's just an awesome shirt. Where'd you get that shirt? Well, you click on me and you can get this shirt. It's Trust the Process. It's the Simple Programmer shirt. There's a reason why I created this shirt. If you're learning to become a programmer, one of the things that you're going to have to learn to do is to stop focusing on results and start trusting the process. This is the key. I call it the secret of life, is because you just have to know that if you keep on going, if you keep on doing it, you're going to get there, but you got to trust the process. Too many people focus on results so much and they give up too far along the way. So I have to remind myself, and I like to remind other people, trust the process. Really, really key point in my life. All right, again, if you like this video, if you want to get more videos like this one, definitely click that subscribe button below. I do a ton of videos on this channel on all kinds of things, not just technical, mostly on soft skills, to be honest, on personal development, on improving yourself as a person, and that's key to success no matter what you're trying to do in life. All right, it was great talking to you. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.